Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Let's rock and roll that rabbit hole.
Can someone please explain to me how is the US ever gonna catch up to Dubai? Bro, someone just sent me a video of what Dubai looks like. Bro, we are done, bro. I don't think we'll ever catch up. Let me show you what Dubai looks like. You thought that was it? Nah, bro. Let me show you their new linear city that they're building, which expands over 13 miles. Check this out. No freaking way that was actually real.
Oh wow, are they moving up to 20-minute cities now? It is a little disheartening to see our infrastructure falling apart. Seems like we can barely take care of potholes here. Meanwhile, places like Dubai are moving well into the future. Is it a dystopian future or an enlightened one? Take a look at this clip from the 30s. Tell me if you notice what I notice. Notice how well dressed everybody is? You don't see any onesies or pajamas walking around. Did we lose our way?
Anybody know what's going on with the ground lately? Like,
yeah, and people say this is regular snow. Yeah, that's fire. I'm throwing freaking snowballs at it. Wow.
Okay everyone, this is the snow from today's little hailstorm that we had here in Ottawa on November 19th. So this is what it looks like. It looks like little balls. Now I'm going to crush it together. And it should melt in my hand. But there's nothing melting. Like, there's no water dripping from my hand whatsoever. It will just eventually evaporate. Now look what happens when we put a lighter to it. Do you notice there's no water dripping from it? This is chemically man-made. This is not real, folks.
it's actually burning.
It's actually burning. No water, no drippage at all. It's evaporating. Okay.
Recently I made a video about graphene being present in this fog being around the world, and I also made a video yesterday where I showed how ChatGPT indicated that graphene would be one of the materials that, if present in the fog, would assist in the projection of holographic images. Now, in regard to the graphene, one might wonder if there's evidence that there is graphene in the fog or in the clouds, and there is. For example, you can look up the video Graphene Rain on YouTube, which entails an interview with a PhD environmental testing scientist who confirmed that of nearly 100 precipitation tests, there was the presence of graphene nanoparticles. And so if there's graphene in most precipitation, it would tend to follow that there's graphene in the clouds, which is where precipitation initially comes from. And since fog is basically a low-lying cloud, it would generally have graphene as well. Lastly, a thank you to a certain commenter named One to Another who shared information about Dane Wigington with me, who actually was the man who conducted the interview with the aforementioned environmental scientist. And Dane is a researcher and activist against geoengineering, which entails man's attempt to engineer and manipulate the Earth's climate and weather through such means as cloud seeding and so forth. Thank you.
The old saying used to be, don't eat the yellow snow. Now it's probably best to not eat any snow. Is there graphene in the strange fogs that we've seen and in the snow in certain regions?
Design that. I got to build it. Conceptual design, detailed design, build it, operationally test it. And in 1973, they says, forget it, friends, you don't get to run it. Well, that's when the rebel, Galen Windsor, started to show up. And when I found out that by management conference I couldn't get to these guys, I figured out another way. Now, in this plant is a beautiful pool. It's got a place to store spent fuel bundles that won't stop. 660,000 gallons of water, demineralized, just as clear and pretty as it can be. Heated to 100 degrees Fahrenheit when the outside temperatures were minus 20, wind chill factors down to minus 60. And I found out that I could swim in that rascal. You turn off the lights at night and it had a light blue Cherenkov effect. And this kid from Nevada that never could pass up a warm swimming hole used to go swimming in that pool. There wasn't anybody that had the nerve to swim with me, but since I was manager of safety and analytical service at this plant, it was mine to use. Oh boy. I found out that I could do that. I showed some financial types one time that I could stir that pool with my bare hand and check out through the same radiation monitors they did without triggering it. GE didn't like it. I got a letter from them that says, thou shalt not tell financial types that you can swim in the pool, that you can stir it with your hand, because if they find that out, they will steal the inventory. They will know that the inventory can be stolen. Oh, is that a valuable inventory? The same material that's labeled high-level waste by our current government. And this one is uranium oxide, U-308. You can't buy it for love nor money. The state of Washington sent 2 of their Gestapo agents over to my home to confiscate my uranium samples on the 17th of December last year. You pour it out in the hand, and that's radioactive contamination. Is it radioactive? Yeah, it is. Very radioactive. I just now decontaminated my hand. No, I didn't do such a good job. Contaminating, it has to go down a controlled drain so that you don't disperse radioactivity. Do I qualify as a controlled drain?
This is uranium-based glass, and what they did was they would imprint materials into the glass. I was researching about uranium glass or baseline glass. They were saying that this is toxic. If you drink out of this, you're going to get sick. And if you go back to like the 1900s, they actually used to drink out of radium water bottles. That used to be the big thing. And if you think about it, it has the same green glow as the Northern Lights. It has the same green glow as nature. When you think about radium, you think of the Ra, or the sun energy, the element known as 88. So when you drink this, it's like you're drinking the sun. Bottles up. If you take this glass and you put it up against a fluorescent bulb, you'll start to see that it glows. I've been thinking about this whole non-ionizing versus ionizing radiation thing. Non-ionizing is cell phones and devices that we use, all the nonsense that we use and blah, blah, blah. But then you have ionizing, which is the sun, and also radium or uranium. So if you think about it, drinking from a baseline glass is like drinking the sun. And same when we think about copper, you get that orange hue, color spectrums going into your water. Just like when people used to walk into cathedrals and the stained glass windows would embed into the water in their body.
This rabbit hole fascinates me. That gentleman, Galen Windsor, that personally oversaw the running of multiple power plants, claimed that the uranium or radioactive isotopes apparently weren't dangerous to him. He was swimming in glowing blue pools. He even traveled around the country demonstrating that radioactive material wasn't hurting him. Did they rob us of a cheap, clean energy source?
All this goofy camel wanted was to make friends. But when he first arrived at his farm, the horses took one look at him and ran for the hills. But luckily, his persistence paid off. Before Shammy the camel arrived at L'Amazing Adventures in New Brunswick, he'd been part of a traveling petting zoo and he was used to lots of attention, but he never exactly had the chance to master animal social etiquette. So when he finally moved into his forever home and came barreling toward the horses like a golden retriever on espresso, they were understandably a little alarmed. But Shammy, who doesn't seem to realize that he's different at all, kept trying. And eventually, the horses realized he wasn't a monster, just a silly giant with a lot of enthusiasm. These days, Shammy is a fully accepted member of the herd, and he's officially appointed himself as the herd's chief mischief officer. He's been known to let his llama friends out on unauthorized adventures, leading them on hikes around the property and then pretending he had nothing to do with it. When he's not spending time pestering his best friend, Toledo the horse, he's usually off on his own doing camel zoomies, especially during the winter, his favorite season. Shammy now gets to live the rest of his life where his big personality isn't just tolerated, it's actually celebrated.
Camel, living in Canada, whose best friends are horses, and he loves snow. I guess that goes to show you how adaptable nature is.
Just now, in China, fam, they're putting up blue tarps all over the roofs of their houses.
Wait,
guess
why?
what? So,
Blue tarps.
Blue tarps, bro. All over all their houses, they're building it right now. They know something is gonna happen.
Is it gonna be like a big storm?
Yo, remember Maui? Oh, you remember the theory?
Yeah.
How it was a laser that caused the fire, but only the stuff that were blue colored cars, the blue colored houses were not burnt. Check this video out. In China right now. Yo, check this out. Look.
China knows
something the rest of the world does not know. Look, so they have the blue tarps and just putting it all over the houses. Everywhere, on the roofs, everywhere. But think about that. Yeah. Imagine it really does happen, and then the houses that are covered in blue don't get touched, because that's literally what happened in Maui.
Yeah, that's true.
But what's scarier is, how do they know to do that? How do they know something's gonna happen?
Blue laser test. I got this laser on wish.com for fun. It's actually pretty powerful. I've been shining it on this blue plastic lid for about 5 minutes now. Nothing. But when I go try it on a different color, like this green, another color, let's do orange, smoking. It's smoking. Red. Also blue. And I had around 5 minutes on this too, and nothing. No smoke, no burning. Alright, everybody wanted to see a tarp. So, I'm from Michigan. All my good tarps are being used right now because we had that big storm the other day. But I've had this sitting on this dirty tarp here for 5-6 minutes. So yes, tarps do not ignite at all.
I always use black.
Does this seem super sus to you guys? I find it odd that people are rolling out blue tarps on the top of their roofs. After the last few years of questionable fires, such as Maui, Fort McMurray, Jasper, Canada, California, one starts to ask oneself, are they doing the do?
Alright. Flatbed with a dump truck on top. On top of the dump truck is a truck with a lawnmower. And they're pulling a dump truck with a SUV on it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Green light, you're good to go. I don't think I'd be following him down the highway.
This is Plum Island Animal Disease Center, a U.S. federal research facility. Isolated on Plum Island off the eastern tip of Long Island, New York, the center has been tasked with protecting America's livestock from animal diseases since 1954. At the height of the Cold War, study of biological weapons for use against livestock was conducted at the site until its ending in 1969. Today, the facility maintains laboratories up to biosafety level 3. However, it has remained controversial due to experiencing its own outbreaks. These include an incident in 1978 where the disease spread to animals outside the center, and 2 incidents in 2004 where foot and mouth disease was released within the center. Numerous conspiracy theories also revolve around the center, including allegations that Lyme disease originated there as a biological weapon, and the discovery of a creature dubbed the Montauk Monster in New York in 2008. The facility is slated for closure in 2023, with work moving to the new facility under construction in Manhattan, Kansas.
We have an interesting video coming out of Long Island, New York. This was captured around June 17th, 2024. This witness found an unidentified creature that washed ashore. Now, the interesting part about this is it kind of looks like the Montauk Monster that washed ashore back in 2008. Whatever this thing is, it's weird looking. It looks like it doesn't even have eyes, but it raises questions. Could this be another creature from Plum Island? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
What the fuck is that?
This was when I worked for the government. I was a molecular microbiologist, and I worked in a biosafety level 3 laboratory developing foreign animal disease diagnostic tests. And basically what we were developing those tests for was for bioagritourism. Bioagritourism is a very real threat in the U.S. We have very open croplands. We have very open livestock, cattle, poultry houses and things like that. So we were studying the diseases to come up with vaccines, antidotes and things like that. So in that period of time, I did some training at a place called Plum Island Animal Disease Center. It was an island. We had to take a ferry to go to it off of New York. I think it's off of Orient Island. And the entire facility was a biosafety level 3, and what that means was that we had to have either PAPRs or we had N95s that we had to wear, and so there were a lot of really interesting and in somewhat sad experiments as well. it's a long time ago. It's one of the reasons I'm actually now in biotechnology and no longer the pharmaceutical clinical side of it. It was just a bit much. They have actually since moved the animal disease research inland, which I think was a sketch decision, but either way, is what it is.
And that's terrifying to think about, that there's literally an island just right, not very far from the mainland at all. Like, you could get there within
from
an
New
hour.
York City at that.
Yeah, that is just got nothing but horrible anthrax and volatile crap that just leaks out periodically.
I know, it's truly diabolical. And if they are having issues containing anthrax, why aren't they having issues containing the other viruses? And what are the other viruses they'll have in there? I know they have foot and mouth. I know they have fucking Lyme's disease and Borrelia and all these other incredibly deadly and life-threatening diseases. What else are they hiding in there? What else are they harboring and treating and taking care of?
The story of Plum Island is rather disturbing. Did you hear the scientist describing events going on there as being sad? I think what she really meant was immoral. Seems the place got such a reputation they had to move it.
Jackie, did you dig this hole?
What did you do?
Murphy. Did.
Did you see the guilt in their face? Hilarious. Animals provide endless entertainment. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for coming by. See you next time.